4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking now, Iran has launched multiple ballistic missiles targeting a U.S. military base in Qatar. The retaliatory strike, dubbed Operation Tidings of Victory. The assault struck Qatar's Al Udeid Air Base, the largest American military installation in the Middle East, which is home to roughly 10,000 service members.
We've confirmed every missile was intercepted and that no casualties are being reported. The Trump administration says that it was anticipating retaliation, which is why all non-sheltered planes were moved from the base last week. Now to Ty and Kimberly and our top story tonight.
Our big local story tonight is, of course, a forewarned weather alert. We're talking about dangerously high heat before the Ford fireworks show in Detroit. Live pictures here from Sky 4 tonight. In just a few hours, the sky will light up for one of Detroit's best annual traditions and one of the biggest and best fireworks show in all of North America.
That's right. If we do say so ourselves, let's take a live look at pictures from Houston, Texas. And you might ask, why are we showing you pictures of Houston, Texas? This is to explain just how hot it is. Right now, it is 5 degrees cooler in Houston than it is here in the city of Detroit.
Yeah, it's hot out there. Welcome to our perch along the Detroit River as we get ready for an awesome show that kicks off Detroit's summer, of course, and unites the entire region. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm Ty Steele.
And I'm Kimberly Gill. It's a gorgeous day. We've got a lot to get to here from the fireworks, but we want to get right back to the studio first and forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams tracking this extreme heat. Hi, Kim.
Well, hi, Ty and Kimberly. I didn't realize it is Ty's first fireworks. He is not going to believe the kind of show we put on here in Detroit. Well, I want to start with temperatures, but I do want to check on the winds. As you could see from Kimberly there, we've got some gusty winds in addition to all this heat, but that wind certainly not cooling us down at all. 95, that ties the record out at Metro Airport. So if you stay with us here for the next hour, we'll see if we can break the record. 95 downtown, 96 in Mount Clemens. We'll go over and take a look at the heat index, the temperature plus the humidity. This is what it feels like. 102 degrees at Metro Airport and downtown and in Mount Clemens. Almost everywhere feeling like we are in the triple digits. But let's check really quickly here on some of those wind gusts, because we've got those winds pumping in downtown over 25-mile-per-hour gusts, and they're obviously at a little higher elevation up there on the rooftop, so definitely blowing around, but blowing in all that hot, steamy air. Now, as we look at the radar out to our west, there are some showers, but nothing here in Metro Detroit. So we're good to go here. We're not concerned about anything developing for the fireworks. But over the next couple of days, there's going to be a boundary that sets up, and that's going to make us not only hot, but also stormy as well. So we'll talk about the storms, and we'll also talk about when is it going to end. We'll do that in a few minutes.
Okay, when we'll get some relief. We'll talk to you soon, Kim. Thank you. If you spend any amount of time outside today, the key is going to be shade, 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 and staying hydrated.
That's right, and as you know, the heat is not stopping those die-hard fireworks fans from snagging the perfect viewing spot for the fireworks. Let's get out live to Ron Hilliard. He's joining us this evening. Ron, people have been out there for hours, obviously dealing with this heat, but it's going to be worth it, Ron.
It will be worth it, Ty and Kimberly. Now, you mentioned the importance of shade. Right now, I'm not taking that advice, but I do have the water on hand. People are drinking slushies. They're getting into the Dodge water fountain here at Hart Plaza. They're doing whatever they can to try to stay cool.
I do not like the heat.
Despite the heat, Detroit's Michelle Henna, who arrived at Hart Plaza in the morning, is ready.
My cooler is stocked with water, loads of ice.
Elton Potts drove up from Toledo with a plan.
Staying in the shade with umbrellas, staying relaxed and comfortable. We have a spot under a tree as well that we always go for. So we're just waiting on some of our other, what we call fireworks friends, to show up.
Unfortunately, the scorching temps are showing up too. The National Weather Service issuing an extreme heat warning for Metro Detroit with temps in the 90s and heat index values over 100 degrees. The agency is advising people to drink plenty of water and to stay out of the sun. But there are some other ways too. Here, let's try it together. In addition to staying safe from the heat, people are thinking about public safety.
And so I have hundreds and hundreds of officers that will be here working with our federal partners, our state partners to ensure everyone's safety. So I expect this to be a safe event. We know how to do this.
Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison is urging you to not lose your cool.
Bring your patience. It's going to be hot, so make sure you bring plenty of water. Try to stay away from the energy drinks and things of that nature.
So try to stay cool.
Don't sweat the small stuff. You'll be okay. Bring a towel, wipe the sweat off. You'll be okay.
And hopefully you'll be okay. But remember, you have to bring something to drink, stay hydrated. There are some vendors out here as well if you don't bring enough fluids. Also a reminder, if you bring a cooler, that is subject to be searched. And also, they want you to maybe bring something like an umbrella, but police say keep at home the tents and the canopies. Those are not allowed in Hart Plaza. For now, in downtown Detroit, Ron Hilliard, Local 4 News.
All right, Ron, stay cool out there. All things considered, it's a beautiful day.
Oh,
yes,
goodness,
it's
yes.
hot, but of course we've had storms before for the fireworks show. Nice not to have those. Just beautiful sunshine out there. Hopefully everybody brought their water. We've seen how people are trying to beat the heat ahead of the fireworks.
That's right, we have now, but there are few things that will put a damper on one of the city's best traditions, that's for sure. Let's get out to Lauren Kostick live in Hart Plaza tonight. Lauren, it's really all about families and fun down there.
Oh, that is so true. It is all about those traditions. In fact, we just saw the barge getting set up here in the river. That is where those fireworks are going to be going off in a few hours. But like you said, it is filling up here in Hart Plaza. And I met my lovely friend here, Michelle, and her son. Michelle, tell me, when did you arrive here?
I got here about 9:30 this morning, and even though they don't let us on until 2 o'clock, it's best to get down here early for parking. And you just be able to pick the best spot in the house. I mean, look at this view. This is amazing. Being down here all day, it's just the best day ever.
You have a prime seat here, very dedicated, and this is a tradition for you. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, my son here is 24, so he's been coming since he was a child. I've been coming since I was a child. So when I became a mom, I wanted to keep the tradition going. So we try our best to make it down here every year at this very spot. And
rain or shine, right? You guys are here.
Yes.
And that's really the case for everyone here. It is hot, but we are staying cool. We are staying happy. We got the umbrella.
Yes.
All right, we're going to send it back to you guys.
Yeah, and Lauren, we should say you are a Detroit girl, so it's your first time back in a few years. How's it feel to be back home and enjoying the Ford fireworks?
Oh, so nice.
Pre-show?
So nice. Yeah, it's such a Detroit celebration and tradition here. It's so nice to be back.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, we'll talk to you a little bit later. Lauren, thank you so much.
And with the fireworks happening tonight, there are going to be, of course, a lot of road closures in and around the downtown Detroit area.
So let's tell you about some of those. Most of those closures will begin at 6 o'clock, but DPD can request to shut down the freeways and streets a little bit earlier or later, depending on just how busy it gets. So the biggest impact will be on Woodward, of course. You won't be able to drive north or south on Woodward between Park and Withrow. Drivers can still, though, cross Woodward at a few key points. Those are John R., Grand River, as well as Gratiot. Several streets south of Fort and Congress will also be closed.
And keep in mind, with this weather that we're having, this heat, just remember Local 4 has the very best seat in the house. Stick with us for that. Our coverage of the Ford Fireworks Show is going to be getting underway at 8 p.m. sharp. We have so much ahead for you tonight. Our Super Singer competition is back. A surprise announcement also from Local 4. We'll have that for you. And of course, the big show in the sky. You don't want to miss that.
That's right. You've got the best seat in the house, but if you do want to come down, there's plenty of room out here. Just as we've been saying, bring your water and try to stay cool. That's going to do it for us here. We want to send things back to Will and Pamela in the studio. Hi, guys.
Hey, thank you, Kimberly and Ty. We'll take it from here and we'll pick back up to that breaking news we told you about off the top. Iran launches a retaliatory strike on the U.S. bases in the Middle East.
Qatar says the Iranian missile attack on a U.S. base was intercepted without any casualties reported. Today's attack comes 48 hours after the U.S. attacked nuclear sites in Iran. NBC's Monica Alba is in Washington for us tonight.
Iran's retaliation is underway. Iranian armed forces saying it targeted the Al Udeid air base in Qatar after the U.S. bombed 3 nuclear facilities over the weekend. U.S. officials say they had been notified of threats against U.S. forces on bases in Bahrain as well as other countries in the Middle East. President Trump meeting with his national security team in the Situation Room this afternoon. After Saturday's attack, the president had warned Iran about any retaliation.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Two officials telling NBC News that before the weekend attacks, Iran had warned the president if the U.S. conducted airstrikes on Iran, it could potentially activate sleeper cells it claims to have in this country.
There's a lot of bluster coming from Iran, but we do have to take seriously the threat that Iran has placed inside the United States, teams of people who could go after soft targets.
Today, we're getting a look at those targets in Iran. Isfahan Technology Center taking a direct hit. And Natanz, a crater remains where a bomb fell. But it's difficult to determine damage at the Fordo facility, buried deep underground. And it's unclear where Iran stored its enriched uranium and if it was hit, though the administration is confident it was.
We have a high degree of confidence that where those strikes took place is where Iran's enriched uranium was stored. The president wouldn't have launched the strikes if we weren't confident in that.
Iran turning to Russia for aid, the country's foreign minister meeting with Russian President Putin and saying Iran will coordinate its response with Russia. Qatar has condemned today's attack, calling it a violation of its sovereignty, and the president continues to monitor the situation closely. He's scheduled to depart for the NATO summit in the Netherlands tomorrow morning. Monica Alba, NBC News, the White House.
According to a report from Reuters, Iran alerted the White House about the incoming strikes through multiple diplomatic back channels.